Did you know that one Roman leader was named the father of the country? Discover the story behind Augustus receiving this powerful title today. In ancient Rome, titles carried significant weight, reflecting power and influence. One of the most prestigious titles was Pater Patriae, which translates to father of the country. This title was not given lightly, and only a select few were honored with it throughout Rome's lengthy history. The very first recipient was Marcus Furius Camillus, who received it in 386 BC after he successfully liberated Rome from invading forces. Camillus was seen as a heroic figure, likened to a second founder of Rome. 3 centuries later, the title was awarded to the famous orator Cicero for his role in stopping a conspiracy aimed at overthrowing the government. These instances set a precedent, but it remained an exclusive honor reserved for those deemed worthy. Over time, the title evolved, particularly after Julius Caesar's rise to power. Caesar was awarded the title Pater Patriae, or Parent of the Country, in 45 BC, shortly before his assassination. However, this title bore a different connotation from Pater Patriae, which became closely associated with the legitimacy of Rome's emperors. After the fall of the Republic and the establishment of the Roman Empire in 27 BC, the relationship between the Senate and the emperor became more complex. Augustus, who was born as Gaius Octavius and later adopted by Caesar, had already begun setting the foundation for an empire that sought both stability and honor. Augustus's journey was not without struggle. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Rome plunged into chaos. Augustus faced fierce rivals and several civil wars during his early years. Despite the unrest, Augustus managed to outmaneuver his opponents, skillfully consolidating power and restoring order. By the time of his rule, the people of Rome longed for stability and security. Augustus transformed Rome, revitalizing its economy and military, which endeared him to the populace and the Senate alike. After decades of turmoil, Augustus had become a beacon of hope for a united Rome. Thus, in the year 2 BC, Augustus's successful rule and his impact on Rome led to a momentous decision by the Senate. It was time for the Senate to formally recognize Augustus's contributions. His accomplishments and the peace he had brought to Rome, known as the Pax Romana, made him the perfect candidate for the renowned title of Pater Patriae. The Senate's decision to grant him this title was more than an honor. It was a recognition of the years of hard work he put into establishing stability in the empire. This title would symbolize Augustus's role as the protector and father of Rome, offering a sense of identity and pride to its citizens. The lead-up to Augustus receiving the title Pater Patriae took place against a backdrop of political instability and civil strife in Rome. After Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Rome was engulfed in chaos, with various factions fighting for power. The Senate, which had lost much of its authority, struggled to maintain control over the situation. Octavian, known later as Augustus, emerged during this tumultuous time as Caesar's adopted son, inheriting not just his wealth, but a complicated legacy. The power vacuum left by Caesar's death led to fierce competition among ambitious leaders, including Mark Antony and Lepidus, creating an atmosphere filled with tension and uncertainty. As the years progressed, Augustus navigated this treacherous political landscape with skill and cunning. He formed strategic alliances and used propaganda to bolster his image. One of the pivotal moments in his rise was the defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. This victory solidified Augustus's position as the sole leader of Rome, paving the way for him to initiate reforms that brought stability. Augustus implemented policies that improved the Roman economy, infrastructure, and offered social reforms that appealed to a war-weary population. His efforts were aimed at restoring dignity to Rome and healing the wounds of civil conflict, making him increasingly popular among the people. After securing his leadership, Augustus implemented a series of reforms that further endeared him to the Senate and the citizens of Rome. His reign marked the beginning of the Pax Romana, a long period of relative peace and prosperity that lasted for over 2 centuries. Augustus prioritized the restoration of temples and public buildings, which reinstated Roman pride and cultural identity. He also reorganized the military and established a standing army, ensuring the empire's security. With each decision, he cultivated a strong relationship with both the Senate and the populace, proving that stability and success were achievable under his rule. As Augustus continued to gain support, he began to realize the importance of a formal recognition of his achievements and authority. The Senate, impressed by his leadership and the stability he had achieved, began to discuss the best way to honor Augustus. Politicians understood that granting him an official title would serve as an acknowledgement of his contributions to Rome, while also restoring some prestige to the Senate itself. The discussions were secretive, reflecting the senators' ambitions to appear unified, while considering the implications of bestowing such a significant title upon Augustus at that moment. The day of August 5th, 2 BC was a significant moment in Roman history when the Senate convened to bestow upon Augustus the honorific title of Pater Patriae. The ceremony took place in Rome, filled with senators dressed in their finest togas, symbolizing their status and the importance of the event. As Augustus entered the Senate, the atmosphere shifted. He was greeted with applause and admiration, a clear sign of the respect he commanded among his peers. The ceremony was intentional and well-planned, emphasizing the collective recognition of Augustus as the founder of a new era for Rome. transitioning from chaos to stability under his rule. As the proceedings began, a leading senator stepped forward to deliver a speech outlining Augustus's remarkable contributions. The senator spoke of the peace he had ushered in, known as the Pax Romana, and the prosperity that followed. He highlighted Augustus's military achievements, his ability to restore order after tumultuous years, and his dedication to the well-being of the Roman people. Each point was met with nods of agreement from the audience, showing a unified front in acknowledging Augustus's pivotal role in Rome's transformation. The respect and credibility he had gained through his leadership became evident as the senators recognized the necessity of this honor. Following the speech, the Senate held a vote to officially confer the title of Pater Patriae. Each senator raised their hands to signify their support for Augustus, demonstrating the overwhelming consensus regarding his honor. As the results of the vote were announced, cheers erupted from the gathered senators, collectively celebrating the recognition of Augustus's role as father of the country. This moment not only solidified his position, but also united the Senate in a display of loyalty to their leader. It was a clear signal that Augustus was the legitimate ruler of Rome, with widespread support from those in power. After the vote, Augustus addressed the Senate with level-headed humility, acknowledging the honor bestowed upon him. He thanked the senators and reiterated his commitment to the prosperity of Rome and its people. This speech was not only a display of gratitude, but also a strategic move to further solidify his relationship with the Senate. Augustus emphasized the importance of their partnership in governing the empire, which resonated with the senators who had just voted to honor him. This sincerity helped to foster a sense of shared purpose and reinforce the stability that he aimed to create across the Roman world. The aftermath of Augustus receiving the title of Pater Patriae was a pivotal moment for not just him, but for the entire Roman Empire. The title symbolized Augustus's role as the protector of the Roman people and solidified the legitimacy of his rule. His leadership and vision contributed significantly to the long-lasting peace known as the Pax Romana, which lasted for over 200 years. This era was marked by extensive trade, cultural prosperity, and impressive architectural advancements across the empire, ultimately affecting millions of people who lived under his reign. Augustus' ability to maintain support from the Senate and the public established a sense of stability that was crucial for the Roman Empire's future. Following the ceremony, he continued to implement important reforms and policies aimed at ensuring the welfare of Roman citizens. His measures included land distribution, infrastructure improvements, and social services that helped alleviate poverty in the city. These actions endeared him to the Roman populace, who saw him as a ruler dedicated to their well-being. The title of Pater Patriae also had a lasting impact on the future emperors of Rome. Over the following centuries, a total of 23 emperors received this honor, but it was typically conferred only after a long tenure of successful rule. Augustus set a precedent, making the title synonymous with effective governance and stability. His successors, including Tiberius and Caligula, looked to Augustus's example when navigating the political landscape. In the years that followed, however, the title began to lose its significance, especially during the 4th century AD with the rise of Christianity in the Roman Empire. The changing religious landscape led to a gradual decline in the political authority of the emperors, and eventually, the title of Pater Patriae fell out of use. While it was once a badge of honor confined to a select few, it became an artifact of a past era, representing a time when the emperor's authority was tied to being a protector of the pagan Roman state.